Hey everybody, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about some of the issues that we're dealing with right now. Actually, it's no secret to what is going on. In fact, it's just all out there. It's all over TV right now. But I don't really want to recap what's going on in the world today. If I can, even put my finger on one thing that's going on, I want to clarify something that concerns me about the Black Lives Matter. Oh, don't think it's going there right now. I don't really get into the slogans and everything because I believe words are very powerful, and if they're not explained or if people are too close-minded to hear what the words really mean, sometimes it can get out of context before it even starts. So I'm not really a Black Lives advocate. I'm not a Blue Lives Matter advocate. I'm a All Lives Matter. But when people ask me things like, well, what is your take on Black Lives Matter? I basically tell them that I don't like the slogan. I don't get into that because I won't be put into a box about Black lives. But I will say I understand. And the reason I say I understand is because we know that all lives matter, and I want to stick with that point. But I think sometimes people will say Black Lives Matter because it seems like to some it does Black lives do not matter. So whenever you're trying to make a point, you oftentimes will single out one thing. So Black lives are being taken. Not I don't. We're not going about who's guilty and why it's being done. I'm just saying this is why the slogan Black Lives Matter has taken off, because people want to get their point across. Okay, let me give you an example. A really good friend of mine asked me one time about a magazine that I had on my desk at work, and it said it was, oh yeah, Essence magazine, because their slogan is where Black women come first. And this friend of mine asked me about it, and I said, oh, let me tell you about that. I don't agree with it either. However, I understand why it's there. See, I explained to him that, see, when you pick up a magazine like Essence, and it has Black women and Black men in there that you can relate to, I don't think you have to say who you're talking about when you pick up Marie Claire, Elle, Cosmopolitan, Glamour, Vogue. There are several others that you don't have to say where white women come from first. All you have to do is flip through the pages, and white women come first, and they're the only women in that magazine. Do I have anything against the magazines? No, I don't. I actually have bought them before, and I forget Vanity Fair. So any magazine, so would have white women all through it. So when Essence put where Black women come first, they're just letting Black women know for the first time, here is a magazine for you. And Ebony had it too, but Essence is more like the magazines that you see on the shelf that had everybody else, other women in it, but no Black women. So Essence want the Black women to know, here, this is where you come first. We see you, you're beautiful, you're whatever. So here's stories about you that you can relate to. Even if you don't think you can relate to the stories in the other magazines, we're going to talk about you. So that's why we have magazines, or a magazine that is, talking about Black women, because they need to know that. We need to know that. And see, when we're talking, I go back to the police, or the blue lives and Black Lives Matter. See, I'm kind of in the middle of it, because if you hadn't noticed, yeah, being sarcastic here, I am a Black woman. And I've been, working with law enforcement personnel for 21 years. So it's very touchy to me because I'm wrapped up in all ways. And then I have a son who works in criminal justice. So therefore, and then I have two Black sons, period. So if anyone don't think that I have a concern, no, I try not to use the word worry anymore for other reasons, but I have a grave concern about my two Black young men. So therefore, I'm not ignorant to the fact that they could be driving down the street. That's why I cover them in the blood of Jesus all the time, because in Psalm 91, because they fit the profile of just being a young black man. Now, if I heard something, if someone said, oh, they got stopped and they were beaten and with this and this, I'm going to wonder why, because I know that my boys are not those kind of boys that would do anything that would cause a beating or a killing. But when do I explain that? After they're gone? So yes, I have a concern. So my suggestion, what needs to happen here is need to have a conversation. I have conversations with people one-on-one, but the biggest problem that I see is that the mouth that are open wider and louder are saying just one side of the story. See, the other side needs to be told as well. I have personal knowledge of a lot of white kids who have no idea about history. They have no idea about slavery, what really happened. See, so therefore, they're ignorant to what could be coming back from generations long time ago. If we hide all that stuff, like they wanted to take Mark Twain and Huckleberry Finn, and want to take the derogatory words out of the books. No, let them stay in there. I'm not offended by those words because I need the young people to know that those words were used and the things that they said about black people, they meant. So now we get history on why there's still separation. There's separation in the church. There's separation on the jobs. There's separation everywhere. So if you get a little bit of history, you'll understand. That goes for the black and the white. Tell the black kids what really happened. Let them understand, because some of the young black kids, especially in the well-to-do areas, they don't understand because no one's telling them this is what happened a long time ago. It is a privilege for you to be living in this home. It is a privilege for you to be going to this school. It is a privilege to be able to vote. It is a privilege to be able to go to college, anything. So we keep all that such a secret. So now they're thinking, oh, all black people are angry. Why are they so mad at us? And then you got the black people, the black kids who kind of know a little bit. They're saying, oh, so they're doing it again. This is how it is. So now we have the anger all over again. When the two little girls were raising money for the police on the lemonade stand, looking like, oh, wow, they're being told, raise money for police, raise money in love. Okay, that's great. I support that. Then be careful to what we tell our young black kids, because if they're being taught that, see that police officer, see, that's why they're getting killed. They're no good, this and this. So now we're raising generations against each other already. Those lemonade stand girls, and not particularly them, but an example, those girls and the kids that are being taught at home against police officers, guess what? Already at war with each other and don't even know it. We're planting the seeds of war already. So the segregation won't stop. It will only grow. Like, when will we start coming together on something? Have a conversation. Sit at the table. When was the last time you had a conversation with a friend of another color? Not just on the job, out for a spa day, at your home, at an event, a convention, or whatever. We're so separated, but when we see each other, it's like, oh my God, where have you been? We got to get together. We got to get together. Never get together, because there's a possibility that you are the only one person in your little group that wants to be with a black woman or a white woman or whatever. So therefore, you keep it quiet. You never invite a black person over to your house and vice versa, because you're only friends in the setting that you're supposed to be friends in. They expect you to be friends with the person of another color because that's at work, but don't bring them home. So we have to stop the separation across the board. I'm going to tell you one last thing, and I hope I get it in before my time runs out here. Entrepreneurship. I can't tell you how many conferences and seminars I have been to where there's me and maybe one or two other black women, and then it's getting better now, but very few all the time. And I don't care how startup, this don't go together, but I'm going to tell you how much in the startup phase one of the women they get cards from everybody. Oh my gosh, you do such and such. They could be just getting their business started. Oh, give me your card because I can help you get started. Or I know someone who needs your services, and on and on and on. And let me tell you something. Most of the time, if you're a black woman in entrepreneurship and you're out there, you have a business, you almost have to be a Lisa Nichols or somebody for some other white woman a lot of times to even want to connect with you. They'll connect, they'll be excited, but then that's it. I don't know. I don't know why. And notice even the following, this is not just me talking on this. This is my entrepreneur friends, the following. Follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever, and then they don't know you. So you follow them, then you ask them to follow you, and they never return a text, email, a following, or anything because you don't fit into their category. You can build their business, but they won't help you build your business. Why is that? Separation still. You're not good enough, and they don't. The conversation isn't going on, so therefore they don't even realize that they're feeling this way because a lot of these things are generational. They're in the root, and the root have to be dug out, cut up before some changes can be made. But I'm willing to help make that change. The change has got to come because if it doesn't, history will repeat itself. We know that. It's been said that it will repeat itself, and here we go. I mean, it's not, like slavery back in the day, like back in, with the hoe and the rake and all that stuff, working the fields. It's a different type. We have to do something about it. And I can't tell you how tired I am of having conversation with people inboxing me or texting me or coming up to me, talking to me about certain things, but they're too afraid of losing their status. They're too afraid of ruffling the feathers of somebody. They won't even say what they really feel. And I said, hey, don't talk to me anymore in secret. Don't talk to me anymore in privacy. Don't get me wrong. People tell me their heart. I cherish that. And, and I cherish the fact that they trust me. But what I'm talking about is if we see a problem, let's say something. I'm not offending my brothers and sisters in the blue uniform. I'm not offending them by telling the truth. I'm not afraid of what they think because this is what I feel inside and they know about it. I have, like I said, the 2 black boys and a black husband and a black daughter, and I am black myself. So I have the concerns of being, in a car riding around or whatever. So it's like I understand all areas, but until we have a conversation, until we start going to each other's events, we're going to have these issues because nobody wants to mix with anyone. We don't want to mix. When I say nobody, I'm just using that umbrella term. The majority don't want to mix because until you become the guy on the front page or the mega preacher or like I said, the mega person, speaker, motivational speaker, still separated, still don't trust you to know enough to follow you or want to help you grow your business. That is not a personal thing that, like, oh, they're just not good enough. It is a segregated thing. That is what I love. And I'm going to leave you with this. That is what I love about Sandra Yancey, the CEO and founder of eWomen. Sandra Yancey, I don't know what's in her heart, but I know what comes out of her is the fact that Sandra sees a woman. Sandra sees the woman who is wanting to make it, trying to make it. They have the same privileges at her events as anyone else. No one is shunned off. She has black women on the stage, black women who are setting up, being vendors. You're just a woman and you feel like a real woman when you go to her events. That is why she has a multi-million-dollar industry, because she understands a woman is a woman, a person is a person. There are bad black people, there are bad white people, bad Asians, Mexicans, whatever race you want to see. But the thing about it, there's worse in every race. But when it's highlighted somewhere, we have to take inventory of that. We have to see, and we have to call it what it is. In order to make a change, you have to call it what it is. Call an ace an ace, a spade, and then that's what will make the change. We have to do something about it because it's not going to stop. But let me tell you, you have to do it with respect, with professionalism, with dignity, and do it in the